Hi guys. So it's been a while since we had a test car to review, all right, because of the ongoing lockdown. But Volkswagen has taken the initiative to send a test car in our direction. And besides being the first brand to offer us a car during this lockdown MCO period by coming up with an SOP compliant fashion, Volkswagen was actually the earliest brand in Malaysia to adapt its operations in light of the new normal. They were the first actually to announce the e-showroom concept whereby buyers can actually go online, book their cars, and they were also very proactive in introducing SOP compliance in their service centers in order to get business to restart as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. So right here we have the Arteon that was recently delivered to us, and here's our chance to review it. Let's explore this car. I'm going to sanitize the door handle, sanitize all the touch points, sanitize. Say yes. You should go.
When I switched to Pro mileage, in my case, I got 46-47% of savings for that car.
Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper, a lot less.
Turn up!
Okay guys, so this is the Arteon, newly facelifted. You can watch my earlier video where I preview the facts and figures of the car. So today here we are going to explore the look and feel of the vehicle, touch the finer details of the car. In terms of styling, well, Volkswagen has evidently kept the recognizable profile. Understandable, because that is the key selling point of the Arteon. Now, like the pre-facelift model, Volkswagen is also offering this facelifted Arteon exclusively in R-line trim, but there is now greater mechanical differentiation from the Passat. So with the pre-facelift model, we know that the Arteon was basically a reskinned Passat with the same engine and drivetrain, but this time around they have upgraded it. So instead of 190 horsepower, you get 280 horsepower that drives not just the front wheels but all four wheels. Cosmetically, the front end has seen a subtle revision. The headlights, it still has this three-dimensional effect with the lighting element flowing to visually join with the grille with a pop-out effect and with all these layers right still there. Okay, so it's a very expressive front end and you won't mistake this for anything else. But of course, more subtly, you have the new badges, the new R badge, as well as the new flat type Volkswagen badge. And inside here they have put the front camera for the 360-degree camera. The parking sensors are also nicely integrated into the grille like this, and you can see now the edges of the bumper is now given a more rounded design compared to that of the pre-facelift model. All right, so we move to the side here. You can see the wheels 18 inches, okay, and you can see this trim element here as well, once again showcasing the R badge. Okay, now the side here, you can see the doors are frameless, and you've got keyless entry, touch type keyless entry on all 4 doors. So basically, if you have the key fob, you can open the car from any of the 4 doors. Very subtle spoiler here, ducktail spoiler here, and the third brake light is nicely integrated to the upper edge of the rear hatch. Now the tail lights have been refreshed, given a clear lens appearance with sequential signal lights that sweep outwards. The lower edge of the bumper, we have this very tastefully appointed black painted diffuser lined with chrome items, but the trapezoidal exhausts, they are, well, they are fake, but they also denote actual mufflers underneath, because you see there are 2 mufflers either side of the bumper. So, well, it's these are not the actual tips, but they do denote the fact that the Arteon has 1 exhaust each side. So overall, in terms of styling, the Arteon, for even in the pre-facelift guys, it was a handsome looking car, and I would say it, if you pitch this next to a 3 Series or a C-Class, yes, the Volkswagen does not have the brand cachet of Mercedes-Benz or BMW, but I guarantee that the Arteon will definitely turn more heads than the Beamer and the C-Class that is basically everywhere. Okay, and check it out guys, the bonnet here, okay, it still preserves that clamshell type design that flows down here with the opening line that is flush with the body line. Okay, and it runs around the wheel arch onto the upper edge of the headlights. Now let's come to the back and show you the hands-free tailgate opening. So I'm holding the key fob here, right? The kick action, okay, and the boot opens. Now let's explore the boot first. So it's a very large size boot. So you've got this compartment here, which I believe you can remove. All right, this partition underneath here, full-size spare tire with the cargo net here, which you can deploy, and you've got 2 cargo hooks here, 1, 2. All right, now here is the thing. You can actually close this with the button, or check this out. So I'm holding the key fob here, so you hear the beep as you step back. All right, the tailgate drops itself. So the idea here is that when you have something heavy in the boot that you want to take out, you kick it while your hands are still free, and then you can focus on carrying the object, and the car will monitor. The logic is that as you move away, you are clear from the car, the tailgate can then safely drop without hitting you on the head. Because think about it, right? If it's a heavy object, when you lift it out, you will want to somehow go and stay around and kick it. Of course, it is more comfortable for you to do the kicking or closing action before you lift the object. So that is a very clever touch that taps in to the function of the keyless entry system that detects the proximity of the transponder anyways. So that is a very, very clever feature that Volkswagen has integrated into the car. So let's take a look inside. All right, now this is a very spacious rear compartment, okay, and we'll look at the seats, nicely trimmed. There's this this standard Volkswagen Group armrest and cup holder. So you have this lid here as well, which you can open to access the rear boot. Of course, this is a very European thing, all right, for you to load your skis. Well, then of course the middle passenger seat belt is integrated into the seat back. So when you fold the seat back down, okay, the middle passenger seat belt does not impede in the folding down action. And now that the seats are folded down, so it's not a perfectly flat floor, but they built this polystyrene ram here so that you get a seamless floor nonetheless, right? So here are the isofix mounts. The towers are spring loaded, so you just push this in to access the isofix points in there. All right, then you can see the seat here has this little carbon fiber like fabric, okay, stitched fabric. And let's come inside. I'm 170 centimeters tall, so up here I've got like 3 fingers of headroom, pretty decent. And what's better, I've got good lean angle. Not only that, I've got good thigh support. It's a full length bench that which I can sit in, and the seat cushion actually touches the back of my thighs. Amount of leg room available here, absolutely fantastic. And come here, the rear air con vents with rear zone climate control, as well as charging ports, USB-C 12-volt socket. Okay, the door card, you've got this Harman Kardon sound system here in the Arteon, and you can't really see this in the daylight, but this actually has a blue tinge on this trim pattern here. Okay, the pocket here also is carpeted. This piece here, this is a plastic surface, but here at least the parts where you can see this is carpeted. The floor of this pocket also is carpeted. So we come to the driver's seat. All right, so check out this cabin. Now, previously in the pre-facelift model, the dashboard is a carbon copy of the Passat, and that has attracted some criticism. So Volkswagen took that criticism to heart, and they have given it a different design. So although this is still recognizably based on the Passat dashboard, the thing is that if you say send your Arteon into the workshop for an extended stint, all right, and the Volkswagen service center gives you a Passat courtesy car, you won't go into the cheaper Passat and say, hey, this dashboard looks exactly the same as my Arteon. So, you know, there is that differentiation right there. And you see, the thing is that although it makes absolute sense that in this age of platform sharing, 2 or 3 different models share the same dashboard architecture, but I do appreciate it when car makers put in the effort to give users that visual differentiation. So you can see just now there, the screen starting up. Here's the digital instrument cluster there that is starting up. Here's the climate control panel. This is a totally different panel from the Passat. It's touch type. You can either slide or you can press. Same here with the temperature control. You can slide or you can press up, press down. Same on either side. So this is very cool. This is very cool. You see this indentation here? The thing is that, right, when you're driving, one of the things that you most frequently adjust is your air conditioning. So when you want to drive with your eyes on the road, you just feel for these indentations, all right, and you know that this area here, this is the driver's side temperature control, this is the fan speed. Once you're familiarized enough, you just aim for the indentation, you will get it. Okay, it's better than a totally flat surface. This one, in actual fact, this is a very, very well executed touch panel that takes into consideration the fact that touch panels are not easy to operate when you are driving. Here, the steering also adopts a touch type display. And let me just show you this. This is the volume control, right? So once again, you can either choose to press to raise the volume, or you can sweep. And similarly with the channel here, you can sweep or you can press. And this is the control display where you can choose to press or you can choose to sweep. You can sweep down, right? So this is a significant upgrade from the pre-facelift model. And well, one thing that I will miss from coming from the Passat would be the analog clock here. I've always had a liking for analog clocks on the dashboard of the car. I think they give the car a more upmarket look. So that's something that I'll miss. But the selection of trim here, very, it's a good mix of sportiness, classiness, and sophistication, and of course the usual Volkswagen Group build quality absolutely cannot be faulted. There's also drive mode selection. Press this button here, you can choose between various driving modes. Right, and there's also a reverse camera plus 360-degree camera, which in terms of resolution, average resolution, but the stitching of images from all 4 cameras are good comprehensible, so it gives you a good picture of your surroundings and any potential obstacles. So you come down here. Now this is a tray. Right, this tray here nicely slots in your mobile phone, and this is down here. This is the gear selector lever where you have access to the driving modes, the parking camera, as well as to activate or deactivate the auto start stop. Electronic parking brake here. This is a lidded tray where you open to access two molded cup holders, 12-volt socket, and well, a little slot here perhaps to drop your key. Okay, down here, well, this is a surprisingly small box, but still you've got two USB-C ports there to charge your devices. And inside here, this is the glove box, a rather deep glove box. All right, so overall, this cabin is, well, recognizably Volkswagen, recognizably based on the Passat, but it carries its own identity, it carries its own differentiation. In typical Volkswagen fashion, this looks and feels properly upmarket, properly well built, and every bit as competitive with its German peers in terms of quality, in terms of ambience, in terms of sophistication. So if you sit in this, you definitely won't feel shortchanged when you touch and feel the various points of this cabin.
Marvelous. Artificial intelligence skin.
Now, even in its pre-facelift, guys, the Arteon here was already a very compelling option next to the BMW 3 Series and the Mercedes C-Class. If you want something that is measurably superior to what the Arteon has to offer from a performance standpoint, you need to look at either the Mercedes AMG C43 or the BMW M340i, both of which have 3-litre 6-cylinder engines. Or you need to look at the Volvo S60 T8, which has a plug-in hybrid. So in terms of pure 2-litre 4-cylinder turbos, this definitely gives you the best bang for buck. And you get 2 extra driven wheels in the process. This is all-wheel drive, whereas the 320i, the 330i, C200, C300 are all rear-wheel drive. Now those of course give you another type of driving enjoyment, to be frank. And if I'm to be honest, the BMW 330i gives you more edge of the seats kind of excitement. This one, it's fast, it's rapid, but it does not pull with the same kind of exuberance that the BMW B48 power plant does. But that one really pulls like a train. The Arteon here, however, it's more like an engine that quietly goes about its business, and before you know it, but you are on the wrong side of the national speed limit. The BMW 330i, it still makes you feel the sensation of acceleration. This one is fast, but does it in a more non-fussed kind of fashion. So there's not quite as much drama, but this is still a very competent car if you need to go anywhere quickly. But one big advantage that the Arteon here has over the 330i is that, let's put it this way, the 330i is more fun when you drive it at 9/10 of its limit. But when you are just wanting to potter about, all right, when you have the congested traffic of Federal Highway of LDP, you just want to go from point A to point B, and your tailgate runs is still a weekend away. This car is more usable and more friendly 90% of the time, because it does not have the ridiculous suspension stiffness of the 330i, but it has just as competent handling as the 330i. And because this is all-wheel drive, you have that sense of assurance when you drive this in bad weather conditions. When you put all that power down on the road, you do so more effectively in slippery conditions, whereas with rear-wheel drive rivals, you have to be a bit more careful in the wet. So you see, the Arteon here not only gives you superior performance, it delivers that performance to you in a way that is much safer to deploy compared with its other rivals. So the other question that invites asking, what is the relevance of the Arteon next to the Passat? Or maybe you want to frame it the other way, what is the relevance of the Passat anymore when the Arteon is this good? My answer would be that the Passat still has its place as a conventional D segment offering that still needs to be there to keep the likes of the Toyota Camry, the Honda Accord, the Mazda 6 honest, whereas this one is a more convincing move up the food chain, although you will be using the same platform, a more convincing move up the food chain to properly challenge the C-Class, the 3 Series, alright, to really give people with that $250,000 budget something to think about. And now with a different engine, with all-wheel drive, with a different interior, the separation lines between the Passat and the Arteon is much clearer. Before this, the Arteon is pretty much a dressed up Passat, but now it is a visibly different car, and I think Volkswagen has gotten its product positioning, you know, and separation of both cars well thought out. So there really is no contest. If you're shopping with a ringgit budget, the Arteon here really is the best buy in the premium executive segment. It looks like nothing else in the segment. It offers better performance, it offers good handling. Alright, the only reason you will want to go for the C-Class or 3 Series, perhaps it's brand recognition, but let me just tell you this, Volkswagen is also making conscious efforts to move themselves back up the value chain in terms of brand positioning. And don't forget, once upon a time, Volkswagen was on par in Volvo in the Malaysian brand hierarchy. Once upon a time, a Passat commanded the same price as a Volvo S60. So Volkswagen, now they are moving themselves back into that conversation in the 200,000 ringgit price bracket, like the Tiguan All-Space, the Passat here, and later on they'll be bringing in the Volkswagen Golf. There'll be no more Jetta, there'll be no more Polo, no more Vento, nothing in the lower price segments for our market. So in terms of brand recognition, the Arteon is also slowly moving itself as a legitimate premium segment contender. And lastly, this car still has all the good qualities that we admire of the Passat, namely its plush ride, refined mechanicals. All are still here, but given a sportier flavor, given a more stylish set of clothes. Okay guys, so this concludes my review of the Volkswagen Arteon R-Line. Thank you for watching. Do hit the subscribe button and check out the channels of my other team members in the aurizn team as well. Check out all our ongoing offers like Evo Club Insurance, Evo Club Extended Warranty, and now the Evo Club Fire Extinguisher as well. Head over to club.evomalaysia.com, sign up as a member, and check out all these deals that we have lined up for you. Alright, so we are done with the Arteon, and the tow truck is here to collect this and bring it back to Volkswagen Passenger Cars Malaysia. So a big note of thanks to VPCM for coming up with this initiative and arrangement that allowed us to review their cars whilst keeping us safe. Moving forward, our battle with COVID-19, there's still a long way to go. We will have to learn new ways, new norms to adapt to living with this virus and rethinking the way we do things. This is our new reality, guys, our new normal, and Volkswagen has been very early to embrace and adapt to this.